Hello and welcome to the Ryan and Ellie show, or do we say welcome back? Been years, hasn't
It's been a long time.
it? So this sort of introduction to the show, we just wanted to share a little bit about what we plan to do with the Ryan and Ellie show, what made us think of doing it, and really what we've got installed to share with you.
Maybe we could also share what we've been doing.
Yes, it's been 5 years since we had our last podcast, just over, and a lot's changed since then. We've got a new child
Say that.
who's now at school, and we've grown into a health club,
We relocated.
and now our podcast is visual as well. So we're going to throw loads at you, and over the coming podcast, we're going to talk about like basically 6 key elements that we do in all of our coaching, because a lot of the time when people look in the health and fitness world, they often look on even on our timelines and they see at the end of it, it's like Elly Hodgson Fitness, Ryan Hodgson Fitness, but actually fitness is only a very small part of what we do, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think as humans, naturally, we all evolve as we kind of get older, as we go through different life experiences, and our coaching has definitely evolved over the years.
100%. I think the big thing for us was recognizing that actually when you start throwing in additional dynamics of having children, having a physical place you've got to work, juggling that, plus trying to have an actual social life and enjoy things, it makes it so much harder to try and keep your head above water at times, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think both Ryan and I have always been quite open with like things that go on in our lives personally. And that has definitely helped when it comes to our coaching because it's made us stronger as individuals and together as a couple,
100%.
hopefully.
100%.
And we try to bring the things that we've learned to kind of better ourselves into helping others in the same way.
Yeah, and I think a big phrase that we'll use at times is like, we're like ducks. Look calm on the surface, but underneath we're flapping at times because there is so much going on and we're juggling things. And actually, we sometimes just have to take a step back and actually remember our kids always have the right clothes clean when they need it. Our kids always have the food, they've all got food on the table, you know. So sometimes, although we might not get all of the nice to do's done, the essentials are done.
And I think we've always kind of, if you didn't know, obviously we've discussed how we relocated and we actually have an in-person premises, the health club. It's named HH, and you would have seen that maybe we talk a lot about Team HH. And the HH for us, obviously, it has a double meaning, Hodgson Health, but also health and happiness. And those are the 2 goals that not only do we want for ourselves, for our children, for our families, but the 2 goals that we would like anyone who's working towards themselves feeling really good, the 2 things that they're aiming for is health and happiness. Because often when we're focusing on, say, for example, a weight loss goal, often our our mental health or emotional health can take a back seat because we're pushing for a weight loss goal. And also we can lose our social health in terms of like the happiness, the social occasion. So for us, we want to help achieve the weight loss goal as a byproduct, but keeping healthy and keeping happy.
Yeah, because we always say, like, if you're doing something now at the expense or cost of your health or your happiness, it's always going to be a temporary thing. And that's why the 6 key pillars that we talk about, and the first one that we talk a lot with our clients about is understanding, like, the sort of lifestyle based approach, you know, and it's recognizing that when you do it, it needs to be all around habits. Habits are the things that form our lifestyle. Habits are the things that we'll continue to do longer term.
And some habits are good and are helping us, and some habits are possibly things that we've been doing over and over and again because we're used to doing it, but not necessarily helping us. For example, this is a big one that I've come across myself, but also working a lot with clients, is things when we put ourselves down, when we get up in the morning, you know, we're constantly picking ourselves apart. And this is a habit that can really take control of our life. And it's one of the things that we really want to help.
Yeah, and it's also then looking at some other habits that we possibly have that are good and reinforcing them. It could be simple little things that start with, are you being more active than you previously were? And actually using that as positive reinforcement to recognize actually these little habits do pay off longer term.
I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Okay, yeah, I like it.
What's one habit that you think that, okay, I'll go with me. I do. that's not necessarily helping?
What, helping you?
Yeah.
I would say your habit, you scroll. You scroll a lot. A lot. A lot. I think, yeah, I think that you probably can fall victim to that. And I think it's actually quite a good topic because a lot of I think a lot of people, and you don't like to think of it like this, a lot of women will look at you and think you're in great shape and you train hard, you have your shit together, but actually I
Don't have my
see
shit together.
I see the way you scroll and then you compare yourself to these people on social media and yeah, I think that that's probably one bad habit, if you like.
Fair
Don't
dues.
divorce me.
No, I thought you might say eating the kids' crust or something when I'm making them sandwich.
No,
No,
no.
going a little bit deeper there.
I'll be getting a kick. All right, then what's my bad habit? I think I guessed this
Oh,
one.
well, it's going to be your finger chewing. What were you gonna?
Oh,
What did you think I was gonna
I
say?
thought it was going to be about the way that I skip breakfast.
Uh,
But the finger chewing, yeah,
that would have been a good topic.
yeah, yeah. So, okay.
Maybe we should go on back to we'll delete the thing, the fingernail biting. I know he does that when he's anxious, so that's a habit that I know is when you are on like feeling, I don't know, high anxieties. The first thing that as a habitual thing that you do is you chew your nails and your skin, whereas really we could be finding a habit that will help your anxiety.
Yeah, 100%. I can relate to that. And with the food one, just popping that in, it's not that we're saying it's bad to skip breakfast for most people. It's just we know from me, I got diagnosed with ADHD since the last time we done a podcast. And one of the big things that came up was about my eating habits. And Ellie can tell within about 2 minutes of seeing me during the day, if she's not seen me in the morning, that I've not had breakfast if I haven't had it. So there's definitely a relationship there between my behavior patterns and when I've eaten.
You know how like you have an emergency bag pack for like your kids with snacks and things. I have to have like an emergency pack for Rye, and I will bring extra protein bars, drinks, depending on what I'm coming and meeting to.
Yeah, love that.
Right, next element.
Next one is stress. I think this is something I probably have a bit of a controversial view on it, but I think that a lot of us in society will use the term stressed when we can actually change the language and recognize the difference between pressure and stress. We thrive under pressure, but crumble under stress. And if we use the phrase, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, you're always going to feel stressed when actually being able to take a step back and recognize, you know what, I'm just under a bit of pressure right now. How am I going to deal with that pressure?
Mhm.
We're in a position to do it from control.
Yeah, definitely. When someone it does talk about their stress, I will often come back with more questions to find out what is the cause of stress. And quite a lot of the time, hold that
Oh, no,
thought.
yeah,
Quite a lot of the time, people won't be able to name that stress because it often becomes an element of feeling overwhelmed. And that's where, in order to help with the overwhelm, it's understanding, what's going on. I like to put pen to paper and just tell my client or anyone, just put it out. Whatever you're thinking, just get it out on paper. So then you can read it. And then you can, most likely from there, you can then form an action step, which is going to help with the overwhelm and hopefully reduce that feeling of the stress.
love that.
What were you going to say?
I forgot. No. I've got it. Right. Yeah. This exercise. So when you're watching this, do this with us. Okay. Look around the room and think of all the things that are pink. So you're just going to list all the things that are in the room that are pink and count them in your head, how many you found. Okay. Now close your eyes. How many blue things did you see? Now open your eyes. I'm sure there's a lot of blue things. And the reason why I say that is when you're looking for the pink, you'll find the pink things, but you're blinkered to the other things that are in your surroundings. And the same can happen often when we're feeling stressed and we're focusing on the fact that we're stressed, we'll just find more stress in our lives. Where actually, if we recognize there's other things going on that possibly could ease our stress, like you were saying, we have solutions then, and we can come with it with an action plan and move forward. So I think it's important to be aware of what we're focusing on, basically.
And I also think it's really important to understand that it's not okay just to continually feel stress. Like that's not part of your personality trait or your lifestyle. If for me, I find like, although Ryan did say like, often we can thrive on stress, we can like perform on it, but we have to remember that stress actually isn't good for
I
our
said
body.
pressure.
Okay, pressure.
Yeah, so we'll thrive under pressure, crumble under stress.
So where I'm going is we have to remember that it's not good for us. Like it affects us in many ways, internally in our bodies. It can impact how we sleep, which is going to impact our energy levels. It's going to impact our mental health. It's going to impact your digestion. It's going to perhaps impact the choices that you're making daily. So that's why it's really important to become aware of how you are feeling. And if you're finding that stress is becoming a big part to your life, this, I'm hoping, will be that light bulb moment and think, Elly, you raised a good point here. I do need to work on this.
Yes, love that. Next one. They all interlink, you'll see. Sleep.
Sleep.
Huge
And
thing.
stress can come from that.
And we often have this, we use this same analogy when it comes to working with clients, is like, if you were to lay all the different elements of your health and your life out on a table, your sleep is the legs to that table holding it up. And it's really important that we recognize how important sleep is. And slightly hypocritical at times of it, because I do think sleep is something that once I fall out of a routine with sleep, struggle, but it is so important. And it's like, a slight reduction in your sleep quality or depth is going to massively impact your performance in all areas of your life. And that will impact the physical and emotional results you'll ever get when you're on a journey of personal development.
Yeah, we're not here to tell you need to have X amount of sleep. Now, we are a family, so we completely understand that there are often variables and factors that can impact sleep that are out of our control. For example, kids.
Yes. Yes, even 5-year-olds coming in the middle of the night.
Neve, our 5-year-old at the moment, is going through the thing is she'll wake up, it could be any time, but she is ready to start her day at that time. We're having to tell her it's 2:00 in the morning. We ain't doing anything now.
Yeah, so we will talk quite a bit about sleep. It's not something that people tend to talk enough about and become aware of how much that is impacting them.
But yeah, it can really make a difference if you're on and I know that we're going to move, but so I'm just going to quickly just make a statement.
Of course.
That
bit passive aggressive, but yeah, I'll get that. Let me get my head back.
Trying to get in my side too. Often we're on a weight loss goal and we feel as if we're doing everything. We're doing the nutrition side, we're drinking the water, we're moving, and we're feeling really good. But then sometimes we may hit that plateau, or the weight loss is not coming down to how we thought it would do. Sleep can often be a factor there that can really make a big difference. And so that's why we are, with our coaching, when we talk about how it's evolved, we include all these factors and elements because they do play a role into how you are overall feeling, but also how you look too.
100%. And the next one was
nutrition.
Nutrition.
Oh, you want
nutrition. Don't let me forget mindset.
The reason why I was going to nutrition is because we talked about sleep.
Yes.
And how if our sleep has been impacted and it's of poor quality, it can impact the choices that we make the following day, and nutrition is one of those.
Yeah, and you'll notice a lot of anything that we talk about in these podcasts, we will not be mentioning diet. We are a set of habits. It links back to habits. Your nutrition should be habitual. We want it to be something that we enjoy doing, and it needs to be lifestyle based. So, we're never going to be talking about, we might talk about diets in terms of our thoughts and opinions on certain ones over time, particularly when we get questions. So if you do have questions, comment on this podcast, on the video, wherever you're watching it. You can send videos in, asking questions, and we will answer them. I got sidetracked there.
Back to nutrition.
We want to look at nutritional habits so that they are nourishing our body and getting you feeling better at the end of the day. We don't want you on a diet. We don't want to be telling you to diet.
That's exactly where I was going to come to is the foods that we consume, the drinks that we consume, all have a nutrient quality value, and those nutrients are what help us feel really good, like physically, but also foods that that feed our soul. When I say that, as in we enjoy the taste of and we get pleasure from. So that's why we will never call it diet. It is nutrition, because it's all about nourishing our bodies physically and mentally.
Love that. What would you say, and I'm going to put you on the spot
Oh,
now,
here we go.
what's one common mistake or problem you see with people when it comes to their nutrition?
As if they're working towards a goal,
Yeah.
they change too much too soon.
I like it. I like it. Good stuff. So that's nutrition. Then we have exercise or activity. And this one I think so valuable, because if you've been around and followed us a long time, you'll have seen we've been on like quite a journey in terms of our own exercise and lifestyle, if you like, where, we've gone from, both of us have been competitive athletes in our younger life. Then we've moved on. We've done the whole bodybuilding thing. We've over the top with the exercise on that side of it. Then now it's actually like, we've moved a lot more around lifestyle based activity that is literally about fitting our lifestyle, isn't it?
And me and Ryan always have this conversation about how both Ryan and I, with our kind of our training styles, we both work towards different things. And that's why it's really important in your own kind of like training world is it doesn't have to all be about performance. It doesn't all have to be about burning the calories. It could literally just be about getting that movement for you, for your brain. Don't feel as if you need to follow what everyone's doing. You're doing it for yourself. So, for example, I've set a performance-related goal for this year. Hopefully, I
She's
get
gonna
there.
do triathlon. She's gonna kill me for saying that now, but put it out there.
To the distance.
So Ellie's going for a triathlon. Like, I don't have a physical fitness related goal at the moment, so I'm like, you know what, I feel happy and comfortable that I can lift relatively heavy, I can run relatively far at a half decent pace. So that's where I'm at. But it's about recognizing what's important to you and knowing that actually, you know what, you might not be somebody who likes the gym. You don't need to hit the gym. Yes, we would always say people do resistance based training, but over the coming podcast we'll go into a lot more depth into different ways you can perhaps get the activity or exercise in without having to be about, the grind in the gym 5-6 days a week, because I would say 80-90% of our clients aren't hitting the gym even 3 times a week. And that's because it just doesn't fit their lifestyle, and that's cool.
Do you know what the most important factor is?
Mindset.
Oh, well, I was going to go with enjoyment.
Oh, yeah. Well, enjoyment. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick to it, isn't it?
No, and that's it. And then you get that consistency. And often, when we talk about kind of a program and the key factors that are important to it, we want it to be consistent because you're going to keep doing it. And then you've got the accountability. And one way to keep it consistent is enjoyment factor, because you're going to want to keep doing it over and over again. And that's where, especially with the nutrition and with the exercise side, the activity side, it has to be through methods that you enjoy.
100%. Love that. So that's the exercise.
Mindset.
And mindset, like, if you haven't read our first book and our third one, all about becoming the best Shula Hodgson's, and like one of the 4 principles, mindset, is the first one we spoke about. And it was a relatively new concept when we first started talking about it, wasn't it? Because I think that everyone was just diet and exercise, diet and exercise, diet and exercise. And we were like, no, actually, the mind is always going to lead the body. And at the end of the day, like, we see a lot of clients, we're actually undoing and transforming their mind first, because we're trying to get them out of that diet and exercise mindset and actually towards a more lifestyle based mindset. But it does literally start with what's going on in the mind.
100%. I'm definitely, people listening to this may know like history about me, but like for me, mindset is the area that changed me as a person completely, but also my relationships with my life that enabled me to become healthier physically and mentally. So from an example, like a low self-worth, the mindset, the habits I had created, constantly putting myself down, were affecting me mentally. The relationship I was having with nutrition was down to a mindset related issue. My confidence in the gym floor, because I would, I'd create these stories in my mind that were untrue about scenarios that would happen going into a new gym. So that's why for us, mindset can really be the missing puzzle for most. a lot of people talk about motivation. For us, we talk about mindset.
Yes, like motivation shouldn't be needed when we have the right mindset, because it becomes a lifestyle. It's like you think about habits, they're all interlinked. You don't get up and feel motivated to brush your teeth. It's a habit that you're doing, and that's the way it works. It's all part of that lifestyle. And when we think about mindset, that's what we want to embody. It's like, what do you think? How do you want to think and feel further down the line? When you have that and you're aligned with that, the whole game will change.
I will probably talk about this quote more often as we go through different podcasts.
I know which one you're going to say.
You do, don't you?
Yeah.
I say it a lot, don't I? But it is literally my favorite. And when I first got into understanding what mindset was and how it personally changed for me, it always just stayed with me because it was so relevant to me and to my life. And that is by Byron Katie. Thoughts are like clouds, they are there to pass by. Now, how many times have we had thoughts that we've kept in our mind that we've continued told ourselves over and over again that we think they're going to become our reality, or they are becoming a reality, when really we're holding on to thoughts that are not true, they're destructive to ourselves, there are things that have been built up possibly on experiences or we've created from an emotion that we were feeling at the time, but then we haven't let them go, have really then kind of just impacted our life and our decisions that we're making in our future.
100%. I think that it's important with the mindset side of things. And if you're watching this now and thinking, oh, yeah, but I don't need that. Like that was me 9-10 years ago. You don't need that. You just need to train hard, lift the weights, eat the food, blah, blah, blah. It's so important from a prevention is better than cure. And it's becoming aware of your thoughts and how they're impacting the decisions you're making daily and how you feel about what you're doing, because that will stop any problems from forming longer term. It's all about forming healthy relationships with self, with nutrition, with activity, so that it's done in a healthy manner. And I think that that's so important. We look in the fitness realm now, and there's probably a lot of unhealthy mindsets surrounding the whole industry, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think like the reasons behind why we do certain things, like when we start like a program, often that could be triggered by an unhealthy relationship that is buried behind. Like we openly talk about our own relationships with certain things. I went on a weight loss journey because I had an unhealthy relationship with food that I didn't deal with at the time. I kind of was just kind of bearing it, and I just was focusing on a goal that wasn't necessarily what I needed at the time. And I think it's really important, and I hope it shows that when we go through a lifestyle coach and how we go through our coaching and how we've evolved is because life does change. Things come up, things take a priority in our life. For example, family, work, illness, injuries. And by creating a lifestyle approach with your habits can all be adapted based on what's going on in your life. It doesn't mean that you've given up on your goal. It just means that you are catering factors that are important to you in your life.
100%. Because I think that touches, again, sort of linking back towards the whole habit thing. And me and Elly are like we're very habitual people and we plan a lot, but actually you need to have the mental capacity to be adaptable in situations, because life is never plain sailing, and it does throw spanners in the works, and it's about how we deal with it when that happens that actually will determine the long-term success of any of us. We need to be able to adapt and maneuver around things with the correct mindset so that anything we do is sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that all 6? We've done mindset, we've done nutrition, we've done habits, we've done exercise, we've done sleep and stress. We've done all 6. So we have flown through all 6 already. And this was just really to give you an insight into what we're going to be talking about over the coming podcast. We hope that we've given you a little bit of enlightenment. We hope that we've given you something to think about. If you have found this helpful, we would love you to like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment of something that you found helpful. Would be great. In the show notes, you will see an email where you can drop us any questions. We'd love to have video questions, and we will be answering listeners' questions or viewers' questions every single week when we're up and running and we have some questions coming in.
And if there's any like topics or anything that you would like us to discuss, can
Yes.
be anything. Let us know.
Why did you say it like that?
I just want to be like an open book. You know, we can go wherever you want.
Love it. Right. Listen, thank you very much, everyone. See ya.
Bye.